What is up, guys? Zaladin Palantir. I am here to give you the new segment I've come up with that I'm going to now incorporate into the other two segments that are on my channel. This segment is going to be titled Best and Worst. The best and worst segment. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the best of a series and the worst of a series, and I'm just going to give it to you guys straight. What are the best qualities of a series, the worst quality of the series, the best characters in the series and why, and the worst characters in the series and why. Yes, you may watch this segment if you have not watched this series. This is going to be spoiler free. I'm basically going to leave it spoiler free. So, without further ado, the first one I decided I would do on a well-known series that people know about, Naruto. The best and the worst of Naruto. Well, let's start off with the best, because it's always good to start off with the best. I'm probably going to alternate between best and worst for everything, actually. The best thing about Naruto, one of the best things about Naruto is the character designs. The character designs in Naruto are on point. All the way through the series, every character sort of has this unique feel, great art. The art for characters in Naruto, how they're portrayed, how they're drawn, and just their uniqueness in general, they kind of stand out. Every character in Naruto, this is like throughout the series, original series and Shippuden, all the characters have their unique traits, their unique styles in that sense, and this is pertaining to only the design of the characters, so how they're drawn. I definitely think Naruto does this. It's just on point. On point. One of the negatives about Naruto is the character development. Now, Kishimoto, what he would do, well, he'll do in Naruto, and you know this if you watch Naruto, you'll get a great design for a character, great idea for a character, and you'll basically take this great idea for a character, and you will do nothing with it. The character will be irrelevant. An example, Konoha 11, just gonna pick a random one, Shino. Part 1, he had some pretty good, he had his moments. Shino had his moments, but as you progress throughout the series, he gets more and more and more useless, up to this point where we're at now. He's literally completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. So Naruto has a way of sort of making characters relevant, regardless. Another good quality about Naruto is going to be the animation. The animation for Naruto. How fights are drawn in particular. The fights in Naruto, how they're drawn, is leaps and bounds better than both Bleach and One Piece. The fights in Naruto are so fluent, so well done. Characters have their own moves, their own unique skill set, and then they have like things that every character can do, like their kunai, ninja tools. It's just the fight system in Naruto is very, very well done, well thought out, and I personally enjoy it. Enjoy the fights themselves in Naruto, the fights themselves, more than any other fights in the big three. I'm going to keep it contained to the big three in terms of comparing the fights, because Naruto is just that much better. Another bad quality about Naruto would have to be the theme, the series theme, which is very dynamic. What do I mean by that? I mean the theme changes up a lot. So I'm actually going to count this as a plus and a negative, positive part of Naruto and a negative part of Naruto. The theme in part 1 was no matter what your past is, no matter where you come from, no matter how bad you begin, as you progress, depending on the work you put in, if you try hard, you will succeed. That's portrayed in characters such as Rock Lee, who had no potential to be a ninja at all, who transformed into a taijutsu specialist, and in Naruto, who started off as kids, no good kid with no techniques of his own, with no background, no story, and he transforms into one of the most OP characters in the series towards part 2. But why it's bad is in part 2 we find out that he was the chosen one. He was destined for greatness, and while characters that worked hard such as Rock Lee kind of fell off. So that's definitely a really wishy-washy part of Naruto. Two more qualities that you couldn't really qualify as best or worst because they have their ups and their downs in Naruto are the imagery and the perception of death. Let's start with the perception of death. And in Naruto deaths, we have some great deaths, such as the death of Jiraiya. Prime examples of a great death. The first death of Kakashi. That was an amazing death. But the perception of death in Naruto is warped, because there's a jutsu, Edo Tensei, that brings the dead back to life, and Pain, at the end of the Pain arc, he brought everybody killed back to life. So, you know what, it's kind of wishy-washy in the perception of death category, but kind of have to deal with it. But yeah, that's kind of wishy-washy in Naruto. Another thing that's wishy-washy is the imagery. some points in Naruto will have outstanding imagery, outstanding like these metaphorical themes and these, oh my god, these mind-blowing like quotes, all that great stuff like that. But at points such as Neji's death, by the way, which was an irrelevant death, points such as Neji's death with the whole bird thing, how the whole Shinobi task force turned into a giant bird and flew at the enemy, I understood the imagery. I understood. It was symbolic of Neji, the bird breaking out of his cage, his destiny, blah blah blah. But honestly, it was just weird, and it didn't really have too much effect on anything that was going on at the time. So, which is why I would call him Kishimoto at his best has some imagery that outclasses a lot of other series. At his worst, though, such as the Konoha bird, doesn't really go. Doesn't really fit. Character-wise, in Naruto, we have some great characters and some terrible characters. An example of a great and unique character is Killer B. His original fighting style with 8 swords is just unparalleled. It's just badass. You're plain old badass. And then you'll have a character like Tenten, who has a great character design and great concept. She's an expert at ninja tools. Wow. We really don't have anyone else in the series that's a complete badass expert at ninja tools, but yet Tenten is. But she's like literally the most relevant character in the series. One of the most relevant characters in the series, which definitely adds to her flaws. Another example of a great character would be Kakashi. Like, this guy's just a badass. He doesn't have any like outstanding techniques. He's developing, of course, his Sharingan. It's progressing, but he doesn't have any. He's just a badass, okay? Even without his techniques, he's still considered a badass, which very few characters with other techniques would be considered a badass in the series. So that definitely contributes to Kakashi's greatness, in my opinion. Sakura, on the other hand, again, bad character. It's not just because people like to bash on Sakura. She was literally useless in part 1, like literally useless in part 1. Part 2, they tried to make her useful, and she had her time to shine against Sasori, but honestly it didn't carry through, and she's kind of seen as a bitch. Very materialistic. She likes Sasuke even though he's a scumbag. So I don't know. I just really don't like her. Best and worst I'm gonna have as the last two characters I'm gonna compare or sort of outline. Are going to be Orochimaru as one of the better characters in the series. He's definitely a unique villain. He's got like a creepy factor. He's strong, and this guy just doesn't die, dude. You cannot get Orochimaru dead. He's just so smart. He won't die. I'll be surprised if he's not the final villain in the series, but he's got everything a villain needs. Orochimaru is an outstanding villain, and his stark contrast to Orochimaru is Obito. This guy is a terrible villain with no common sense. His backstory is flawed as fuck. Okay, the fact that somebody killed Rin that would make him, and this makes him want to take his revenge on the world, pretty much. I mean, come on now. Obito just lacks common sense. He's not scary, and he's like a narrator. He's like the Speedwagon of Naruto in that sense, except Speedwagon's like 10 times better. I can't even really compare them. Fuck it. Obito's in his own world, and he's just terrible. Anyways, guys, that's my new segment, Best and Worst. Alvin Palantir. Go ahead and leave comments, likes, subscribe. Tell me what other series you'd like to see outlined for their best and worst qualities. Hey, again, I'm a fan of all these series. I'm just bringing out the best in them and the worst in them, and pretty much letting you guys decide if you think this is true. Anyways, Alvin Palantir. I am out, guys. Take care.